Well, our girl Foodie Beauty went live for about 5 hours yesterday. If you remember, she was going to go to the Shawarma Fest, but she got on her scooter, she drove to the train station, and she found out that the elevator wasn't working. So there was no way for her to get on the train. She says the next train station for the O train is just too far away. She couldn't make it. People in the chat suggested to her, well, this would be a great opportunity for you to walk at the fest. No, 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 we can't do that. She's just starting out. So you could tell she's kind of disgusted. She wanted to go to the Shawarma Fest, even though she claimed she wasn't going to eat. She even tells us that it hurts her tummy. Shawarma hurts her tummy. But we know she was going to eat if she went. So she decides, maybe I'll just go to the park. So she, as she's driving to the park, she's on the road again, where the cars are driving. People in the chat are telling her, hey, Chantal, get on the sidewalk. You know, it's not safe to be riding in the road like this. And, you know, she's going almost all the way out to the middle of the road at times to avoid potholes. And she claims she can't ride her scooter on the sidewalk because the sidewalk is too rough and the scooter will break. Because if you recall sometime a little while back, she did say that there's a crack in the frame of the scooter. So it's a possibility, but I don't see how the sidewalk would be any more rough than the road. So she makes sure to tell us she has a headache, and she is attributing this to her new eating. She decided that if you just go cold turkey like this and try to go healthy right away, you're going to feel bad and have a headache. Salah enters the chat, and he is talking about how bad the internet is over there. And that's when Foodie tells us, you know, that was the major reason she left Syria, was because, you know, she relies on streaming. That's her thing, and the internet was so bad. But if I recall, she wanted to leave Syria because she was having some sort of mental breakdown. I would almost call it a psychosis, because she was convinced that Salah's family was going to harm her. But now, you know, as usual, the story changed, and it's because of the internet. That's why she came back to Canada. So she makes it to the park, and Salah and the rest of the chat is encouraging her, hey, you're at the park, this would be a great time to take a walk. Just a 5-minute walk. No, we got a headache, can't do that. So someone tells her about the pressure point between your thumb and your pointer finger, between the webbing there to push on that. And she does it, and she claims that she thinks it's working. And then she says it like this. Deep breathing, thinking that's going to help. And then she says, oh, this did help a little bit. So then let's take a walk. No, I can't walk without my earbuds, because she has to have music when she's walking. She just can't walk, as she says, listening to the sounds of nature. So she's using every excuse she can not to walk. So she says that later, when her headache's completely gone, she'll go to the gym. But spoiler, she never made it to the gym. She never made it to the gym. And this whole time she's out there, she is just messing with her eyes. It was terrible to watch. I mean, she just about had her fingers in her eyes. She's like picking at her eyes. She has makeup on. It looks like she puts the eyeliner on the inside of the lid. So of course her eyes are going to be irritated. It goes on the outside, not the inside. I mean, I remember in high school, some girls would do that, where they would put it on the inside just about of their eyelid, and that's what Chantal has done, and she's picking at her eyes constantly. It was kind of gross, actually. So then she walks over to the slide, one of these tube slides, and this is one of the small playgrounds. It's for, you know, kids 5 years or younger, right? This slide, it was 2 steps off the ground, 2 steps. She walks up there, she's giggling like a toddler, as she always does. Do we think she would get stuck in this tube if she tries to go down the slide? So she goes down. She says, no, I can't do it. I'm too afraid. And from going the 2 steps up to the slide, she is completely winded, cannot breathe at all. And then she's complaining, oh my God, I don't think I'm going to be able to get down from here. It's too high. It was 2 stair steps. 2 stair steps. Completely winded. But she manages to get down and gets back to her scooter. Then she's talking with Salah in the chat, and now mind you, this is after she can't walk, she can't do nothing else. She starts talking about all this hiking she wants to do, and she starts talking about wanting to ride a motorcycle with Salah. But she claims to ride this motorcycle, she has to have both of her feet at one side. You know, like in the Old West when the women rode the horses and they rode side saddle. Chantal thinks that's how she's going to ride a motorcycle with Salah. Another little tidbit I found weird. She tells the chat later that she wishes Salah would allow her to call him Sal. I don't understand. I don't understand. Then we get back home, and she's complaining about not being able to eat nothing. She does tell us that she did. Like I told you, she would have fast food. Yes, she did. It was a tuna sub from Subway. But I can guarantee she doesn't specify, but I'm sure she didn't just get the 6-inch. I'm sure she got the whole foot long. And she tells us she wishes that there was a food version of methadone. Now, in my opinion, this ranks up there with on the top of the stupidest things she could have ever said. People, including myself, take methadone because you get violently sick, terrible withdrawals from opiates. You don't get sick from cutting back on your food. But, you know, she was on a GLP-1, and we see how long that lasted. You know, she complained about how it made her feel and this and that, and she was eating around it. She was eating just as much as she always had. So, wouldn't that kind of be similar? So she's looking for an easy way out. She wants some kind of magic pill that'll make this weight loss just easy, to where she can eat what she wants, do what she wants, and the weight will just fall off. It's not going to happen that way. She takes her blood pressure. Her blood pressure is 152/89, so it's still high. And I'm sure it had nothing to do with the tuna sub that she ate from Subway, because I'm fairly certain she probably got a bag or two of chips and a big soda, you know. So I'm sure that had nothing to do with her blood pressure being high again. Then she had ordered some groceries. She's going to make some spaghetti and portion it out, and she wants to chat to help hold her accountable. And she bought one bag of chips. So she's asking the chat, how long should one bag of chips last her? They're telling her about a week, and she's, no. So someone in the chat suggests that she gets out some baggies and portions the chips. So she did this, and she made 6 bags, and she did buy some Pepsi Zero, she said. So at night, she will have that small bag of chips and a Pepsi Zero. No, I guarantee after she goes out and smokes, she's going to tear through all them chips and have more than one of them cans of soda. I can guarantee it. Then she just goes off on this tangent, talking about BBJ. Now, I'm not very familiar with the lore here. All I know is she had this cat. It was an elderly cat, about 20 years old. And when she met Salah, she was in such a hurry to go overseas and marry Salah that she just rehomed these cats. And I guess whoever she rehomed this BBJ to, now correct me if I'm wrong, they ended up giving the cat to somebody else, and somebody that Chantal cannot stand. And then this cat ended up passing or got put down, and this woman who had the cat kept scamming people, making them believe the cat was still alive and taking donations. So Chantal says she had even called the cops about this, and they said that it was a civil matter. There was nothing they could do. But choice was made. Chantal chose a man over her animals, an animal she had for 20 years. There was no rush. She did not have to rush over there to Kuwait to be with Salah. So I feel no pity for her. And this was a tangent. That went on for 20 minutes. She thinks that, you know, nothing is her fault. That seems to be a common theme in girl world, doesn't it? And she also gets to talking about visitors' visas. How Salah could get a visitor visa, but she's not sure that they're ready for that yet. See? She brought this up, and I told you the other day she slipped when she was talking about the cat, BG's birthday, and if she's not traveling, and she says she knows when she'll see Salah again, but she's not going to tell anybody. So, now I'm starting to wonder, no, I mean, there's a possibility maybe he'll be coming to Canada on a visitor visa, but I think more than likely she's going to travel over there to see him. So, that's everything foodie. That's 5 hours worth of stream broke down into about 10 minutes. So, I'll be back tomorrow with more news on our girl Foodie.